Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. Probably the biggest patch for PUBG since its 1.0 launch is currently on the test server. It includes a complete weapons rebalance, map selection, a new gun, new scopes and reticle, a new car for the desert map, and much more. Nearly every weapon's damage per shot has been changed. In general, pistols, SMGs, shotguns, and LMGs should all be slightly more effective. Assault rifles have been slightly nerfed and can no longer equip the 8x scope. DMRs have gotten a mix of buffs and nerfs. The SKS was nerfed while the VSS and Mini 14 were slightly buffed. The new weapon is called the SLR. It shoots 7.62 and offers the most damage per shot of all the DMRs. It's comparable to the SKS but with more damage and stronger recoil. Frag grenades have been reworked so the bulk of damage they deal comes from actual explosions and not their knockback effect. Prior to this change, a grenade blast that dealt 10 or 15 damage could still kill you because it would send you flying fast enough to deal significant fall damage. Camera shake that was caused by being shot now depends on how much damage the shot does. Level 3 helmets now only spawn in airdrops. This is probably one of the biggest balance changes, as level 3 helmets were pretty prevalent in the game and now they're going to make airdrops far more valuable to prevent those one-shot sniper headshots. As for weapon attachments, new grips have been added that offer different effects, mostly improving recoil in one direction while increasing things like ADS time. The existing grips were also tweaked to be less powerful. The red dot, hollow sight, and 2x scope now have multiple reticles to choose from. In addition to that, the devs have added 2 new scopes, a 3x fixed scope and a 6x variable scope that can be zoomed out to 3x. Players can now select which maps they want to play on. Unfortunately, the options are limited to Erangel and Miramar. The upcoming tropical map Savage isn't included in this build yet. Overall, this patch is a massive one that will take some time to get used to. I wouldn't say any of the weapon changes are all that drastic, but the SMGs and shotguns in particular will be much more scary in close quarters. When it comes to the console version of PUBG's test server, players now finally have access to Miramar. Fortnite is officially the biggest battle royale game in the world. Its February earnings and player count finally surpassed PUBG's, making it the 6th highest grossing game on PC in the world, and 3rd on console behind COD and FIFA. Last month alone, it made $223 million across all platforms. Fortnite has become the biggest free-to-play console title of all time. In-game, it looks like that meteor might be a teaser for content coming in Fortnite's next season. Their official Twitter account recently released this image featuring a masked character's face in the trail of the meteor. Small meteors have also started hitting the ground, causing large explosions where they land. H1Z1's developer Daybreak Games have begun laying off employees. They will continue to support their existing titles and work on future projects. H1Z1 seemed to be gaining steam until PUBG's release. Since then, it's seen a massive decline in player count despite several major updates and new content being added to the game. Halo Online, the free-to-play PC title that Microsoft canceled in 2016, had been revived by a mod team, and this week it had a big update, the 0.6 update. I made a video covering this update, and the game is actually incredibly fun to play and pretty stable. Impressed in general with the quality that this mod team has produced. Unfortunately, it seems like Microsoft have a legal obligation to shut it down because it relies on code from the original game. That said, servers for the game are still very active, but it does look like Microsoft is potentially striking and trying to remove people streaming the game or now making videos on the game. The mod is essentially a total rework of Halo Online with many tweaks and changes to the core experience. While many of those changes leave something to be desired for veteran Halo fans, just having a decent, modern-ish Halo title on PC is great. 343 and Microsoft have been hinting at a Halo PC title coming in the near future and reiterated as much with their official announcement about taking action against the mod. Halo 5's Forge mode is currently available on PC and offers multiplayer private lobbies, but is also a poorly optimized mess that hasn't really received any real attention from Microsoft since launch. Perhaps they're working on an update to bring the full Halo 5 experience to PC. or maybe the upcoming Halo 6 game will launch on both Xbox One and PC. Microsoft launched the Play Anywhere program back in 2016. Any game in the program is available on both PC and Xbox One, regardless of which platform you buy it on. The titles include big first-party games like Gears of War 4 and Forza, so it would make sense the next Halo game would be part of this same program. Battlefield 1's latest CTE patch made some big changes to the Scout class. The goal was to make the sweet spot system more obvious. For people playing as Scout, the sweet spot is now visible because of a blurring effect that is applied to enemies outside of the sweet spot range. You could think of it as depth of field. To other players, Sniper Glint now has the rainbow effect when they're in range of the sniper's sweet spot. The glint also has been added to the marksman and patrol scopes. I did an entire video covering this update, be sure to check it out. Big changes are in the works for Rainbow Six Siege. An updated version of the weapons sight alignment fix is currently in testing on the game's test servers. The same patch also includes a pick ban system for custom games, a new animation for defusing, a nerf to drop shotting, tweaks to operator speed, a slightly reworked observer system, and a semi-bulletproof camera for selected operators. Future patches will focus on making the less popular operators more appealing, potentially including total reworks of the least picked operators like Tachanka. The retail version of MMO shooter Wild West Online is coming to Steam on May 10th. The game is currently available for purchase on its official website. Buying it there unlocks all early access versions of the game that you can play now. Right now, Wild West Online is sort of a gamble for potential players. It's being made by the same devs behind Infestation Survivor Stories, which is considered a cash grab game made to capitalize on DayZ's early popularity. What that means for Wild West Online at this point is anyone's guess. Currently, it seems to lack a lot of meaningful content, but we'll really have to wait and see. The sci-fi MMO shooter Defiance 2050 has a closed beta happening this weekend on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Invites are being set out in waves to players that signed up in advance. It's the follow-up to 2014's Defiance, which served as a tie-in game for Sci-Fi's show of the same name. The new game is a mix between a total overhaul of the original title and some new content to explore. GPU prices may finally start coming back to normal. The cryptocurrency mining GPU crisis may finally be over. Cryptocurrency mining has slowed down thanks to profitability dropping with the current generation hardware over time. Right now, it's tough to say if next generation GPUs will revitalize mining, but in the short term, expect GPU prices to be closer to their original MSRP that they have been for the past 6 months. In-game loot crates are now illegal in Belgium. The government there did a formal investigation of loot box systems in games and determined that they violated their gambling laws. FIFA 18, Overwatch, and CSGO specifically have been told to remove their loot box systems or face fines and potential jail time. The Netherlands recently took action against loot boxes as well, giving developers until mid-June to remove them. Many other countries are also looking into regulating in-game microtransactions, including the United States. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below letting me know what kind of articles you thought were the most interesting this week, and we'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.